ones. Based off the image that we have been given, this image has been changed multiple times through different consoles in iOS and PC and PlayStation and PS3. Based off the eerie music and the context that is showing before our eyes of Clementine smearing blood and rubbing on her face. This episode was supposed to be very graphic and very dark as well. The silhouettes behind Clementine actually change throughout different consoles and platforms that you are actually playing The Walking Dead on. There are actually silhouettes of Kenny, Vince, and Wyatt, his friend. It kind of looks like him. It was supposed to be a lot of people losing their lives and dying, but it actually went in a different path of Clementine group escaping Carver camp. This was supposed to go down in a bloody bath of a shootout, kind of similar to the middle fight scene when Clementine regrouped with Arvel, and it was a shootout, but this was supposed to go down a different way. When Clementine mentioned a church, a town that's not that far away.
We head north, get to Wellington. That's our best shot.
There's a town across the river. It might be safe there.
When the group was actually escaping and trying to find shelter, and trying to find a place for Rebecca to hold shelter at and give her food, supplies, things of that nature to take care of the baby. There was actually going to be a scene when he actually was going to go to this town, and it was going to be this church. The group was actually going to be going there for the time being temporary and taking shelter. People actually have theories about how this outcome would have actually been if the group would have actually made it to that town. Pretty much a theory that's not much to really be given to go on about. People online pretty much said there'd have been less people coming out of that town, and that's all they have ever said about that. Perhaps they may have different people there, different scavengers, different bandits, more different threats, more different predators, or more dangerous people holding out in that town. Now this one right here actually gonna make me sick to this day. It's actually making my stomach actually turn. Troy in The Walking Dead Season 2 was supposed to be originally set to a road to be abusing Clementine. Unfortunately, the words I don't want to say, but as Clementine. He already showed glimpses of abusing Sarah. Carver already showed glimpses of signs abusing Clementine, physically abusing her, hitting her. It was supposed to be a torture abusing scene, something like that for Troy to do to Clementine at Carver camp, but they didn't want to go down that route, and I'm glad they didn't, because this would have been actually disgusting and disturbing if Clementine would have actually dealt with those things. People like, oh, I wish they never cut out a lot of stuff in this game. I don't think y'all really want to sit through this game with uncut stuff. I think those things needed to be scrapped from The Walking Dead Season 2, because it would have never been published, because it had a lot of triggering and very inappropriate things for a 12-year-old girl to go through. Carver, he's not really a good character at all. He actually did some unforgivable things to Rebecca as well, claiming his power over Rebecca and claiming her child. And actually hear some words of Rebecca beforehand in the Season 2 before she even got back to Carver group. She actually mentioned the words saying, "Let it be his and let it be okay."
Let it be okay and let it be his.
So at the end of the day, this actually shows us and tells us that Rebecca was actually or taken advantage of by Carver. And despite the outcome or not, the baby was not Carver baby at all. If it was Elvin, he still would have took control over it and take over Elvin baby, and after killing them as well. So it actually says a lot how messed up Carver actually really is. And it actually goes down in the history of him being one of the most darkest villains ever in the Season 2 of Telltale Walking Dead. So we're retracting back to the Season 1 of The Walking Dead. There is actually some dialogue here in this Season 1 of Episode 2, Starve for Help. It actually has some interesting dialogue of Larry. It was supposed to be his last words of him before him dying in the St. John Dairy Brothers meat locker. It's actually interesting. Check it out.
I'm sorry, baby. Sorry I couldn't protect it.
I actually find it pretty interesting a little bit. It would actually show his humanity in his last words of him actually passing away and dying. I feel like he could have had like a character development. I'm not trying to give Larry the short end of the stick and praise his behaviors towards Lee and the rest of the community. Pretty heartbreaking to hear those words too, as he's passing away, drifting before his eyes and telling his daughter that he loves her. Voice actress. So some of the voice lines and the voice actress in the Walking Dead Telltale franchise, and when I mean part of things, they are part of different games. And by games, I'm mentioning The Wolf Among Us. Bigby has the same voice as the 400 Days character. I might be off about this, or I might be 100% correct and right. This can be the same voice actress that played Bigby, or this could just be a coincidence.
Look, you know I ain't going nowhere, right? As long as we're together, I'll be there for you. You gotta worry. You know that, right?
Who do you work for, really? I feel like we've met before. He hit you. He needs to pay for that.
but they sound very similar. Clementine, I forgot this character name on The Wolf Among Us, the Toad Kid. I'm sorry, correct me if I'm wrong, but they have the same voice as well. The person in The Walking Dead season 2, Carlos, he actually has an identical similar voice as well as this character in The Wolf Among Us. And not only that, Lee from The Walking Dead season 1 is actually the same voice actress as Bluebeard. Correct me if I'm wrong, but all these voices really match down to a T, and they all sound similar, and they all sound very identical to one another, to both characters.
Hey, stop! This isn't what I want!
Oh, shut the fuck up, Woody! Shit ain't just about you. It's about this fucking lapdog. Only comes sniffing around this part of town when the rich fucks in the woodlands need a shakedown. Ain't that right, Bigby?
Gavard? Sheriff?
Bluebeard.
I was just chatting with our new friend.
There are also title screens of the season 2 that actually been changed. The scene when Clementine get bit by Sam, she actually the cover of this episode. It don't seems like very much right here. She just holding her arm and looks like Luke in the background with a flashlight. But it's actually different in this scene right here, in this shot, in this image. She actually more bloodier and more hurt and stressed out. I feel like they did a lot of back and forths on debating and being indecisive on whether they should make it graphic and more gore and more bloody and stuff like that. Darker. You could tell that in this season that they were very indecisive on their decision making on how they wanted to shape this to be, because there was a lot of things scrapped from this season. And not only that, Clementine wound up losing her hat. I know this is not really important, but she was supposed to lose her hat due to these files that somebody actually dug deep and found. She was wound up climbing somewhere and she wound up tripped and collapsing and falling, and she wound up losing her hat. I think they give us an objective on finding our hat. Continuing on finding the hat, we wound up running into the dog named Sam. So that's just a small tiny little feature. And based off everything that I have heard about The Walking Dead, there's a lot of people that was supposed to be alive based off Pete, Krista, Luke, and a lot of characters was supposed to be alive. Luke was supposed to play a song around the campfire. Pete was supposed to be alive for a couple more episodes. Krista was supposed to be alive for a couple more episodes. They actually just scrapped these characters up out the way during the process of making this and didn't put them into the full installment of The Walking Dead season 2, which is very unfortunate. So I mentioned this in a separate video, predominantly a video targeting this last episode of season 2. And we already know how many directions this season 2 has went into with episode and decision making and storyline and characters. But by far, this was supposed to be one of the darkest episodes of the Telltale franchise of season 2. And it was going to go down in the franchise of being the darkest episode ever. Clementine was originally assigned to die with AJ in a blistering cold from hypothermia, from having no other option. Basically, this actually kind of goes back to the theory what I was actually mentioning about the church and the town. They were supposed to go to that town, and Clementine would have wound up leaving that town by herself with no one, pretty much. It looked like it would have got worse if they would have sit up there and traveled and made it to that town. But pretty much Clementine is abandoned. There's no Jane, there's no Kenny, there's no Luke, there's no Bonnie, and there's no Mike. She's pretty much by herself with AJ. So pretty much the whole group just came to a death, a fight, perhaps when we were mentioning in this episode, Amid the Ruins, something like that of a fight continue on later on, or something that was very brutal that the rest of the group died and Clementine fled away with AJ. It's just my predictions. I could be far off. It's actually a true legit video that the Telltale community actually speaks about and talk about. Clementine and AJ would have died in this last final scene, and it would have never been no continuation of season 3 or 4. Her story would have came to a close, and it would have been the end of the Telltale season franchise. Clementine and AJ would have died in the cold for hypothermia.
I killed him.
Oh no,
This video actually gave me the motivation and the inspiration from a comment from my last previous video, and I actually wanted to touch on this topic and actually talk about it today. More videos are coming soon. I think we have a Carly video, or we have a Lily video, or a Clementine perhaps. I'll catch you on the next one. Take care of yourself, stay hydrated, drink a lot of water, take care of yourself as always, and I love y'all, and I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.